Welcome back to another class on the Treasures of Mishnayot. We are continuing in Mishnayot of Berachot, Perek Gimel, Mishna Dalad. This is a new Mishnah. This will be part 1 of the Shi'ur, as the introduction is pretty long. The Kahati begins to give us an introduction before we do the Mishnah in the next class. Katuv b'Torah, it's written in the Torah, in Sever Devarim, Perek Chav Gimel, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Ki b'cha'ish asher lo tahor mikre laila. The pasuk says that when you're going to have a man amongst you that is not going to be pure because of an incident which occurred at night. Upirushu hachamim, and the hachamim explained this pasuk, shekavanat hakatuv, that the intention of the verse, la'adam sheyatza'a mimenu shichvat zera, is going on a person that came out from him semen. Shehu tameh, that he is tameh. So all the Kahati is telling us now, when we see the pasuk in the Torah that says, Ki becha ish asher lo tahor mikre laila, he's emphasizing the word mikre laila, that there's an incident that occurred at night. And he wants to bring down and read that the Chachamim want to learn this pasuk that is going on a person that had semen come out of him. When that semen comes out of him, he becomes tameh, he becomes impure. Kimefursh b'Torah, like it's openly written in the Torah, in Sefer Vayikra, Perek Tetvav, Pasuk Tetzayin, V'ish ki tetzeh mimenu shichvat zera, and a man, when it's going to come out from him semen, v'rachatz b'mayim et kol basar, and he wash himself in water, his whole flesh, meaning his whole body, v'tameh ad ha'erev, he's going to be tameh, he's going to be impure until the evening. There's such a concept that's called Erev Shemesh, when the sun sets, that in general, when a person, because you also have a zav, you have different types of tumah that a person can become. Now, when they dip in the mikveh, it's not like a woman when she goes to the mikveh after nightfall. Over here we speak about this guy, he went to the mikveh during the day. Good, he went to the mikveh during the day, but still, he's not tahor until the sun sets, until it's the Erev Shemesh. But what is this person called until he waits for the sun to set? He's called a Tvul Yom, meaning a person who went to the mikveh before sunset, and now he has to wait for sunset to set in. So that's what we're trying to tell you over here, that we have this open pasuk in the Torah that clearly says that a person who had semen, shichvat zera, come out of him, it clearly says that he's tameh. How do we know he's tameh? Because the pasuk says, "V'ish ki tetzeh mimenu shichvat zera." If you're going to have a man that's going to come out from him the zera, v'rachatz b'mayim et kol basura, and he washed himself, he washed his whole body in water, v'tameh ad ha'erev, and he's going to be tameh until the evening. So we clearly see over here, when it says over here, ki tetzeh mimenu shichvat zera, when semen came out from him, but then he went and he rinsed himself in water, basically he dipped, but then it says v'tameh ad ha'erev. So we see clearly from over here that a person who had a seminal emission, he's going to be impure. So that's always bringing down that is open verse in the Torah that a person who had a seminal emission, he's going to be tameh. Mikan kar'u hachamim l'shichvat zera b'shem keri. From here, the Chachamim, they called the shichvat zera in the name of keri. The semen that comes out, the semen, not that it comes out, the semen itself, the Chachamim call it keri. Uveli'ishi yatsa mimenu hazera, but to the man that came out from him this semen, we're going to call him b'shem Baal keri. We're going to call him that he's the Baal HaKeri. He's the owner of the keri. He's the owner of the semen. Okay. So one more time. Mikan kar'u chacham l'shichvat zera b'shem keri. From here the chacham, they call the sperm, they give it a name, the name of keri. Uleishi yatsa mimenu hazera b'shem Baal HaKeri. But to the person that the zera came out from him, we're going to call him the Baal HaKeri. So that's very important to note. Now you guys can understand a lot of times when they say, what does it mean, Baal Teshuvah? Say a person does teshuvah. No. Ba'al teshuvah means he's the owner of repentance. He is the owner of himself. Now comes the Katan and he says, is there a difference how the sperm came out? Was he sleeping? Was he awake? Was he up? By accident? Intentional? So he says, Ben sheyatza memenu b'sheina me'atzmo, whether the semen came out from him at night, whether the semen came out from him while he was sleeping by itself, or ben sheyatza memenu behakitz, or whether it came out from him while he was awake, lirtzono, whether he wanted it to come out willingly, or leonso, or whether he did not want it to come out willingly, it came against his will. Ben shelo b'derech tashmish, whether it came out, the sperm, not through the way where you have relations with your wife, it came out in another way. Or ben b'derech tashmish, or whether it came out, the zera, whether it came out while you were with your wife. V'lo ne'emar mikra layla ele mishum. Oh, so before we do that, 1 second. So we see over here like this. The Qadi is making a very strong point. I would have thought, when can I say a person is a bal keri? So that's when he's going to become tameh. Maybe in certain situations. The Qadi tells us no. Whether it's at night while you're sleeping, or whether it's in the morning while you're awake, whether you wanted it to do, whether you wanted the semen to come out willingly, whether it was against your will, whether it came out not through your wife, or whether it came out because of your wife, meaning you had relations with her. It doesn't matter which way the zera is going to come out, you're going to become tameh. Continues the Qadi and he says, V'lo ne'emar mikra layla. So now you have to understand this piece, very important piece. If over here the pasuk says clearly, Ki yeh b'cha ish asher lo yeh tahor mikra layla, that when you're going to have a man that he's not going to be, that when you're going to have amongst you a man that he's not going to be pure, and we call him because he had an incident at night, meaning he had the carry come out of him at night. If that is the case, why is the Qadi giving all these other examples that I just quoted? Why did he have to say willingly, unwillingly, sleeping, awake, not in his wife, inside his wife? Why did he have to give all these reasons? If it's only one case, it clearly says mikra layla when it happened at night. Why do you have to go ahead and give me all the other cases also? So he says over here, V'lo ne'emar mikra layla, the whole reason why it was said mikra layla in the verse, Ela mishum shediber katuv behoveh, because the pasuk it spoke about in a usual manner. When does it really occur? When does a person see carry? The normal way for a person to see carry is at night. That's what the pasuk said, mikra layla, that if you had an incident at night. Listen, during the day it's less likely to happen. So therefore he wants to try to tell you, really it applies to all the cases that we had mentioned. So why does the pasuk say mikra layla? Mikra layla because the Torah, whenever it speaks in the usual way, the more common way it's found. But it does apply to any other situation. You can't come now and tell me, oh, you know, Rabbi, maybe it's mikra layla, maybe a person is going to only be tameh when it was at night, but not during the day. And not when he did it against his will, and not when it was his will. No. We have to say, this when the Torah teaches us, mikra layla, that the incident happened at night, that he started to carry, we have to learn that night because that's the regular occurrence. That is more common when the semen comes out. But it's also applicable to any other time of the day and any other situation, that if it does come out from the person, he becomes tameh. V'shaninu b'baraita in Baba Kama daf Pei Amur Aleph, and it was taught in the Baraita in Masechet Baba Kama, page 82, side 1. Ezra tiken tevila liba'alei keri. Ezra, he instituted tevila to dip into a mikvah for a Baal keri. Now we know what a Baal keri is, because we saw keri is going on the semen. The semen that comes out of the person is called the Baal. So we put them together, the owner, the person of the keri. The owner of the keri, that's called a Baal keri. So he says over here, Ezra, he instituted tevila for a Baal keri, koloimor. Meaning to say like this, Sha'amnam, that however, mina Torah mutar li Baal keri lasok b'Torah. From the Torah perspective, a Baal Keri, he's allowed to, and he's permitted to, be oisik batorah, be'odu bitumato, while he is tameh. Kidin kol ha-timi'im, like the halacha by all the other timi'im. If a person, let's say, is a zav, where he's so abnormal emission, that's not the same case of Keri. But we'll see that later on. Or if a woman became a yolad, she gave birth, or she became a nida, and so on and so forth. There's many cases. Or if a person became tamei met, he touched a dead person, or he touched a dead rat. In all these cases, we're going to tell you that these tumah situations, you could learn Torah, but Ezra, he made an exception when it came to Baal Keri. We'll see this why right now. So one more time. Really, from the Torah, a Baal Keri is allowed to go ahead and be oisik batorah while he's still tamei, like any other tumah. But what? So what happened over here? Aval Ezra ubeit dino. However, Ezra and his court, hotzi'uhu miklal sharat timi'im, they took this law of Baal Keri out from all the other laws of impurity. V'tiknu, and they instituted shelo yikra Baal Keri b'divrei Torah ad sheyidbol, that a Baal Keri should not learn Torah until he dips in the mikvah. So really, from the Torah, any person that is tamei is allowed to go ahead and learn Torah, even a Baal Keri. But Ezra and his court, what did they do? They took out the Baal Keri from that group of all the timi'im, of all the people that were impure. They're allowed to continue learning Torah, but the Baal Keri himself is not allowed to go ahead and learn Torah. Why? What's the reason? Not because if he's impure, or if he's pure, that's why they instituted this institution. No, it has nothing to do with pure or impure. No, that's not why. So why did Ezra make this institution? Ezra instituted this law in order for the Talmidei Chacham that they shouldn't be found next to their wives like roosters. Roosters like to always mate. If you would tell the Talmidei Chacham that he's allowed to go ahead and learn Torah while he's tamei, meaning while he's so deceiving the mission after he was with his wife, what's going to happen? The Talmidei Chacham is going to go back, he's always going to want to be with his wife, like a rooster. However, comes Ezra and he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it a little bit difficult. If I'm not going to allow the Talmidei Chacham right now to learn Torah, what's going to end up happening? He's not going to want to be with his wife. Why isn't he going to want to be with his wife? Because being with his wife, he can't learn Torah. He can't learn Torah. What does he have to do? He has to go to the mikvah. Now you have to remember, going to the mikvah is not like today. You walk into a mikvah, it's like a hotel. 5-star. No. Over there they would have to go to a lake or ocean. They would have to break the ice. So it was out of their way. So if they can't learn Torah for 1 day, 2 days, they would stay away from their wives. And that was the whole purpose of the Takan of Ezra. They would stay away from their wives. And this way they would be able to learn Torah. Because had they been with their wives, they wouldn't be able to learn Torah until they go to the mikvah. Again, when it would come to the only period where they're obligated to be with their wives, that they're going to do. But Ezra made an institution. He didn't want the Talmidei Chachamim to constantly be with their wives intimately. That's why he instituted this institution. There's many other reasons that were said in this. He says, look into the Gemara Masech Berachot of Chavbet Amur Aleph, also in the Talmud Shamim Berachot Perek Gimel Halacha Dalet. Lefichach, therefore he says, Ba Mishnatenu lelamed din Baal Keri lekriyat Shema ve'ule Berachot. There he says, our Mishnah is going to come to teach us the laws of a Baal Keri for Kriyat Shema and for Berachot. That means to say that if a person is a Baal Keri, can he recite Kriyat Shema? Can he say Berachot? This is what the Mishnah is going to come and teach us B'leneder in the following class. Baram, however, he says, the Gemara Muvah is brought down in the Gemara, Shibatla Takanat Ezra, that the institution of Ezra was nullified. V'nahagu ha'olam l'smoch al Rabbi Yehuda ben Beter Sha'amar. The world has the custom to rely on the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Betera, that he said, "Ein divrei Torah mikablim tuma." That the words of Torah, they can't accept tuma. It's fire. Words of Torah are fire. It cannot accept tuma. That's because Rabotai, if you look into the Gemara over there, Masay Berachot, that's exactly what Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera says. And that's what Belina, we're still not there now, but in the Gemara journey with Rashi, when we get to Belina, if you guys are following there, you'll see this whole case over there also. That Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera says, Divrei Torah, it's fire, it cannot mikabel tuma. On the contrary, fire, if anything, is able to purify anything and everything. So that's why, that's his opinion, and that's why he tells us over here that the institution of Ezra to go ahead and to dip before saying Shema or davening or saying any barakot was nullified. A person can be with his wife, and afterwards he can wash himself, clean himself, and then he can continue back with learning, saying barakot, Kriya Shema, praying. There's no problem at all, and that's actually the halakha in the Shulchan Aruch also. So let's go, and then that's what he says over here. V'nahagu haolam l'smoch al Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera shamar, and the world has the custom to rely on Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Betera, that said, "Ein divrei Torah mikablim tuma." The words of Torah, they do not accept tuma. Shenemalek says in Yirmiyah Chav Gimel, Perek Chav Gimel Pasuk Chav Tet, "Halo kol divrei ke'esh neum Hashem." Hashem says, "But aren't my words like fire?" Ma esh ene mikabel tuma. 1 minute, please. Ma esh ene mikabel tuma. Just like fire cannot accept tuma, of divrei Torah ena mikablim tuma. So too, words of Torah, they do not accept tuma. V'chein katuv Rambam, so too, v'chein katuv Rambam, and so too the Rambam wrote, B'sov hilchot Kriya Shema, towards the end of the halachot of Kriya Shema, ho'il v'lo pashta takana zu b'chol Yisrael, since this institution was not widespread throughout the whole Jewish people, throughout all the Jewish people, also the majority of the people, the majority of the congregation, they did not have the strength to withhold such a institution. Therefore, batla. That's what the Rambam says, that the Kan of Ezra is nullified. Vikvar nahagu kol Yisrael likrot b'Torah v'likrot Kriya Shema v'hen ba'alei keri. He says over here that all the Jewish people have the custom to go ahead and recite Torah, to read the Kriya Shema, while they are Baal Keri, while they are Tameh from the seminal emission that came out of them. Why? Because the words of Torah, they do not accept Tumah. Because the words of Torah, they stand in their purity forever. Nevertheless, Mishnatenu oseket b'din Baal Keri lefi takanat Ezra. Believe that the Be'ezrat Hashem, in the following class we'll see that our mission is dealing with the laws of a Baal Keri before the institution of Ezra came, not after the institution of Ezra came. Rabotai, have a great day. Oh, I'm sorry, Rabotai, 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. I apologize. No, I read it wrong. No, the other way around. Lefi, not lifnei, lefi. One more time, guys. Mikom nevertheless, Mishnatenu oseket b'din Baal Keri lefi takanat Ezra. I apologize. Didn't make sense. Nevertheless, our mission is dealing with the laws of a Baal Keri according to the institution of Ezra. Even though halachically we just told you that Ezra's takana is nullified, a person who's a Baal Keri, he's allowed to go ahead and recite Shema, Barachot, Daven, no problem. Nevertheless, our mission, we'll see in the following class, is going to specifically be speaking according to the institution of Ezra, when a Baal Keri was not allowed to say Torah and Barachot. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen v'amen.